Well, the group table then, the final one in that group, shows that Denmark and West Germany, they have qualified. And it's a little muddling there, but Uruguay finish in third place and qualify. The poor old Scots, they finished last. And now we know that the matches then that make up this last 16 in the 1986 World Cup. Starting on Sunday evening, Mexico against Bulgaria and Russia against Belgium. And then on Monday, Brazil against Poland and Argentina now against Uruguay. Let's hope, and it should have been, we believe, of course, against Scotland. Next Tuesday, it's Italy against France, what a match that should be, and Morocco against West Germany, and then next Wednesday, England against Paraguay. That's the kick-off at 7 o'clock in the evening, incidentally, and Denmark against Spain. Then Thursday and Friday, no games before we come to the quarter-finals then next weekend. Well, what about Scotland? Ian St John, I suppose you could repeat almost what you said at half-time, couldn't you?
I've nothing to say.
We might be
totally
slightly embarrassed if that's the case.
Speechless, because we just cannot make any excuses for that at all. I think it was the worst performance I've ever seen from a Scottish side. And I don't care what they say about Alex Ferguson, his team he picked and all the rest of it. Any 11 Scots going out there tonight should have won that game against 10 men. 89 minutes to play. And it was the way we played. We had one effort in the first half and one shot near the end from David Neary. Two shots. Did you remember their goalkeeper making a save? Right. I don't remember the goalkeeper doing anything. I think the thing that most people are going to find baffling, if I can stick with you for a moment, is how well you'd played against Denmark and West Germany. I mean, it's a complete mystery. How can we play well and look a side, and I know there's been a few changes tonight, but how can we look a good side and then go out there tonight and look completely disjointed? And what really annoyed me was that we're standing around and we're 10 yards off people, 20 yards off people. And you say, hey, lads, come on, we've got an extra man. Let's at least hustle them, let's try and work them, put some pressure on them. No, everybody's standing around. I don't know, maybe I've got it wrong sitting here. Maybe the heat and the altitude and everything affects people and they can't do it. It would appear tonight that we just could not do it. We've played as if we'd lead boots on.
I think the thing that upset me most was they didn't even try and go by anybody. And this World Cup has produced every team that takes people on and beats the man, especially going into the last third, gets good crosses in the ball, you know, gets extra people going wide and get good balls in the box, you get goals. And I tell you what, Scotland have got so many talented ball players that everyone is good on the ball and comfortable on the ball, but they didn't try and go by anyone.
I think
and that's what disappointed me.
I think also the thing that disappointed me, and we got to look at Scotland really with Denmark now and look at the two matches. The comparisons. But we've just watched a match there where the boy has come from the back, and I still believe, and I think Alan Hansen's a great player. I'm sure the two boys, Neary and Miller, are very good players, but I think that somewhere along the line, Alan Hansen should have been on that side so that we can have people coming from the back to pass and play. We had Willie Miller, we had the boy Neary, who were really playing as two spare men. So all of a sudden, instead of having 11v10 advantage, Uruguay had 10-9. But I mean, I gotta say, I saw Uruguay playing, and yes, they have a lot of bad parts of their game, but they can play.
Well, do you know when Alex selected the squad, the first thing he said was, I think I've made a mistake, I've left Alan Hansen out. He said that. Now, I think tonight proved, you know, that mistake was because you're talking about players who can play and comfortable with the ball.
You're talking about defenders. You're talking about defenders. You left Speedy, he's your best player, and you've left him here. Let's be fair.
I'll tell you what, Speedy in that game tonight, the way they were, he would have been on the field 2 minutes.
You want match winners.
He'd have been on 2 minutes.
And that's where you've slipped up.
I think also
we can't score a goal.
I think also when you look back at the game, there was a lot of balls dropping, and everyone seemed to fall to Uruguayan. And I still say, and we said it the other night, when England were going to play, they had to make something happen. And I felt tonight the Uruguayans made something happen, and the Scots didn't.
The same thing about Big Sharp. You've had him in there, really, and, you know, if he doesn't head the ball, really, you know, he's a waste, really, a waste of a player. You know, I thought that Sturrock up front did quite well. He was the only player who looked to get in behind people and make things happen.
But we still didn't get anybody coming through from the back to create the extra man advantage, to get people behind. The second half, there was space in behind the left back every time, and it wasn't really exploited.
Well, the big lad Goff, who'd played well in early games, and we thought, well, what a good, you know, added addition to attack he is coming up. Tonight there, when you're talking about that space, Brian, you know, with little Strachan, he never was able to come into the game at all. I mean, it was total disaster. Total disaster. Total disaster.
You've had the last word, Saint. Commiserations to you and to all Scots. Our thanks to Michael and to Brian as well. And that's it for tonight. There's no live action tomorrow, but there is a special World Cup programme tomorrow afternoon on ITV at 3 o'clock, and it's going to include boxing. That's the WBC Lightweight Championship between the champion Hector Camacho and the former champion Edwin Rosario. That's from Madison Square Garden in New York. There's gymnastics too from the Crystal Palace. And then when we get to talking World Cup football, we're going to step back 16 years to Mexico 1970 and bring back to our studio our ITV World Cup panel of that year, 1970. The year that Malcolm Allison got the nation talking. This was Big Mal 16 years ago. We're going to bring back Derek Dougan as well. And, of course, needless to say, we're going to bring back Paddy Crerand, 16 years younger, but as strong in his views about the game now as he was then. And Bob McNabb, he's going to be here too, flying in specially from Canada for this World Cup reunion, and that'll happen at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And Alec Ferguson has just announced it's his last game as Scotland manager. It's a bad note to end on. From us all, good night.